How did we go from the Bridgerton Books series, set in a very traditional Regency England, where everyone is white, where Queen Charlotte really isn't involved at all, to the Bridgerton Netflix series, where Queen Charlotte is a huge character living in a very diverse, multicultural world. So of course, it all started with Julia Quinn, who is the author of the Bridgerton novels, and she wrote what I would call a fairly cookie-cutter historical romance series, where your traditional tropes of enemy to lovers or friends to lovers storylines exist. And while some of those books did end up becoming bestsellers, at the end of the day, it was only bestsellers within her specific niche and not something that was widely popular. However, when Shonda Rhimes read those books, she really felt there was something there that could turn into an amazing Netflix series. So she contacted close friend and producer Chris Van Dusen. He immediately knew that he wanted to incorporate Queen Charlotte and the rumor that Queen Charlotte was England's first biracial queen into the storyline. He wanted it to be upfront and center, and Shonda was all for that. And while the theory that Queen Charlotte was actually a mixed race queen isn't entirely logical or widely accepted, it definitely makes for a highly entertaining what-if alternate history for Bridgerton. Because Bridgerton decided to use a very color-conscious casting for the TV series, audiences basically demanded to know the backstory. They wanted to know how this very diverse Regency England world came to be. And so, while Chris Vanderson spearheaded Bridgerton, Shonda Rhimes herself decided to spearhead the prequel story, Queen Charlotte, and kind of explain how this even happened. She was crazy excited and even brought the original author, Julia Quinn, into the mix because, again, Queen Charlotte was not part of the original book series. And so together created the story that is now the Queen Charlotte prequel. And because we are talking about an actual real queen, Rhimes made the executive decision to start the series with a disclaimer.
It is not a history lesson. It is fiction inspired by fact.
And I just want to note, just personal opinion, the reason the Queen Charlotte prequel feels vastly superior to the Bridgerton series is because that world was literally made for Netflix. Everything was made very consciously and made to flow together. Bridgerton, on the other hand, doesn't have quite the flow because we've got this kind of forced merging of two worlds.